Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat siang, saudara-saudara sekalian. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan. Yang saya hormati Bapak Harichan Silalahi, Ketua Pembina Yayasan CSIS, Bapak Yusuf Wanandi, Wakil Ketua Pembina Yayasan CSIS, Bapak Dr. Hasan Wirayuda, maaf Pak, pangling saya Pak, anggota Pembina Yayasan CSIS, Bapak Profesor Jisman Simanjuntak, Ketua Pengurus Yayasan CSIS, Ibu Clara Yuwono, Wakil Ketua Pengurus Yayasan CSIS, Ibu Dr. Mari LK Pangestu, anggota Pembina Yayasan CSIS, Ibu Ria Murdani, anggota Pengawas Yayasan CSIS, Bapak Dr. Rizal Sukma, Bapak Dr. Jose Rizal Damuri, Executive Director CSIS, Ibu Dr. Medelina Henditio, Wakil Direktur Eksekutif Bidang Operasional CSIS, Ibu Dr. Syafiah Muhibat, Wakil Direktur Eksekutif Bidang Studi CSIS, Bapak Dr. Felix Vermonte, Senior Fellow CSIS, yang hadir mendampingi saya hari ini, Letnan Jenderal TNI Purnawiran Safri Samsudin, Ibu Metia Hafid, Ketua Komisi 1 DPR RI dan Wakil Ketua Tim Kampanye Nasional saya, Letnan Jenderal TNI Purnawiran Hotman Mangaraja Panjaitan, mantan duta besar kita di Perancis, Laksamana Madya TNI Purnawan Didit Ashraf, mantan wakil kepala staf Angkatan Laut dan wakil gubernur Lemhanas, dan seluruh duta besar negara-negara sahabat yang hadir di sini. Karena begitu banyak perwakilan dari negara asing, ada 80, dalam rangka menghormati para tamu, as a courtesy, I would like to give my talk in English. First of all, I would like to thank the CSIS for the great honor given to me. I'm being invited here at this very illustrious and very famous and very important institution. The history of CSIS, I think, can be considered as really a part of the recent history of Indonesia for the last 5 decades. Therefore, it's a great honor for me. And today I've been asked to talk about the direction and the strategy of our foreign policy. If in the event that I get the mandate from my people and I will form the next government, I think it could be of interest to see the direction and the strategy of the foreign policy that I will pursue. However, basically, I think all observers of Indonesia will realize that the tradition of Indonesia's foreign policy has been very, very clear. From the early days of our independence and our sovereignty, we have opted for an independent foreign policy guided by the principles of non-membership of any geopolitical bloc. Our tradition in foreign policy has always been non-aligned. We do not wish to be part of any geopolitical bloc. And this tradition, I think I am committed to continue and to pursue, because it is not only in our tradition, it is the wish of the majority of the Indonesian people, and more importantly, it's in our national interest. Indonesia, because of our history, because of our geographical position, we are basically in the middle of great civilizations. We are at the crossroad of great civilizations. We have been the crossroads for many, many centuries. Even now, we are in the middle of very important trading routes, strategic waterways. We are, I think, maybe the second or the third longest coastline in the world. We depend on trade. We have always depended on trade from our early existence as independent sultanates, principalities, etc. We live on trade. We are dependent on trade. So therefore, it has become our perceived interest to have this tradition, what I call the good neighbor policy. We want to maintain a policy of good neighborliness in our region and also in the world. Number one, this is in our strategic interest, what I call, even our defense outlook will be based on this premise. A web of strong friendship. This web of strong friendship will actually be our strongest pillar of foreign policy, and in the end also our defense policy. Why? Because of the common denominator that every country in the world faces, especially in Southeast Asia. We need peace and stability for our economy to flourish, and we need our economy to flourish to bring prosperity to our people. That, in the final analysis, is the duty of any government. We must eradicate poverty. A regime, a government, a national leadership that cannot take care of its own people does not have any right to comment on the policies of other countries. We must take care of our own household first. We must take care of our people. For this, for our economy to flourish, we need peace and stability. We need good relations with all countries. We need this relationship web that will invite foreign investment, that will open markets for us, that will create jobs for our people, and in the final analysis, to eradicate poverty. Basically, That is my speech. Short and sweet, I think, right? I think this is the shortest speech I have made this year, you know. Because the tendency is for any politician, you know, once they get a microphone in front of them, they don't want to let go. But I realize so many distinguished ambassadors and so many distinguished leaders here, so I think I'll keep it short and to the point. This is our policy. This is our tradition. This is our conviction. We will not be part, as long, if I get the mandate, I will maintain this tradition. We will not join any bloc. We will not be part of any military alliance that is against our tradition. And in my conviction, it is against our national interest. We respect all the great powers in the world. The West has contributed great contributions to humanity. The East also. China has been a great civilization for thousands of years. Basically, it is the oldest human civilization in recorded history. India also. All the other powers. Russia, we respect. Russia has been a good friend of Indonesia. Africa, we suffered the same fate. We were under colonialism and imperialism for many, many years. We know what it means to live under oppression. Our parents, our grandparents imprisoned, our ancestors thrown away to many parts of the world. We know how demeaning it is to be considered second, third, fourth class. I, as a young man, I myself saw the signs outside swimming pools in Jakarta. It was in the wall, yeah, dipahat di marmer. It was what do you call it? Engraved in the marble, you know, and it said, "Verboden voor honden en inlander." I saw with my own eyes. In 1978, there was still this. You know, it was closed by a mosque. When I opened it, I saw this. So I would like to say that we identify with the peoples under occupation, striving for their independence everywhere. Because we felt it. I went to school in Singapore and Hong Kong when Singapore and Hong Kong were still British colony. There were certain parts that I, being a brown man, could not go in. So I experienced as a young boy. Therefore, we identify with the peoples that are striving for their independence today. However, that is the beauty of the Indonesian people and culture. We don't hold grudges. We have no enmity. We are now friends with the Dutch. We are friends with everybody now. I think that is the uniqueness of, maybe could be said, the uniqueness of Indonesia, that Indonesians basically forget easily. So basically, that concludes my talk. Therefore, this should not be pidato, ya. Pidato itu panjang. Ini, let us say, a small talk. And better I conclude my remarks and I open myself for questions from the floor, if there are any. If there are no questions, all the better. But anyway, if you have a question, please give easy questions, not so difficult. Thank you very much. Terima kasih.